Hello everyone and welcome back to another CodeIgniter video. In the last video we took a look at Active Record and we got to see how powerful CodeIgniter can be with using the database. In this video we're going to go ahead and finish the post model view and controller that we started, and we're going to make it so that we can view all the posts, which we already did. Then we're going to view a single post, and then we're going to be able to add, delete, and update a post as well. So as you can see, what I've done is I went ahead and I've added a bunch of test posts, and I've added an edit and delete link, and that's just edit post and delete post, and there's a variable of the ID. This is the same for each that we had on another video. So what I like to do first is I like to actually create the model first. The reason why I do this is because when I go into the controller, I already have all the models made. And then I do the view after so that I know what data is going to get pushed from the controller. This is what I have so far. We did this in a previous video. You can see we're selecting all the posts that are active. Since we have that, we need to make it so that we can grab one post. And this will be pretty easy because of the active record video that we did. So we're going to call this function getPost, and we're going to have a variable post ID. This is going to be very similar to the function that we had before, but we need an extra variable in the where. So we do this db, want to select everything from post, where, and then we actually want this to be an array, and the first we want is active to be 1, and then we want post ID equal the post ID. Then we're going to do the same order by, and we're not going to add the limit because we're only grabbing 1. Then we'll do query this db get, and then instead of query result array like we did before, we're going to return query first row, and I want this to be an array, so if you left that blank, it would return an object. So we have that. The next thing we want to do is insert post. We're going to add a data variable with it. In the last video, we learned that we create an array that has everything that's going to go into the database. So we're not doing that here. That's going to be created in the controller. So we say this db insert, and then we select the table name, which is post, and then we add data array. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to return this db insert ID. This is just good practice. We might want this ID number if we were to add that in another table. Next, we want to be able to update a post. We want post ID and data, because we need to do a where selector. And we just do this db update. The last thing that we want to make is delete post. We do the same selector, and then we say this db delete. I know it kind of feels weird because you're telling it to delete, but you have the where before it. It took me a little bit to get comfortable with this because I was always freaked out that I was going to delete the entire table. Now we're done with the model, so we're only going to look back at this in case we forget the name of a function. Let's go ahead and go to our controller. As you can see so far, we have the construct so that every function in this class, we're going to load the post model. Then our index page, we're going to add post to our data array, and just going to grab all the posts. You can see I don't have any start or end. Then we're going to load the view, and we're going to add data to that view. So we have that done. Now what we want to do is we want to create a function for a single post. So when you add variables here, this is basically a get variable that it's grabbing. Except CodeIgniter makes it pretty. It puts them into slashes instead of question marks. So this would be post slash and the ID number. So all we need for this is we need to, in the data array, grab a post. We'll say this post, get post, and then we'll add the post ID. Then we're going to load the view. We'll call it post, and then we'll add data to it. As you can see, we're not loading the model here because we have that in the construct. Next, let's do new post. And the way this is going to work is we're going to have it so that we have a form on the page, and when you submit that form, it goes to the same function here. So we need to say if post, so in case we're trying to create a new post, we click submit, we want to create a data array. We're just going to have title, post, which is the description, and then we're going to automatically set it to active. In the future, you'd want this to be active for admin, and then maybe not all the authors, but some of the authors might be automatic. Then we're going to insert the post, and then after that, I want to redirect them to the index page so they can see it's been added to the site. So otherwise, if they're not posting, then we want to load a view, new post, so we can have that form there. We don't need any data though, because it's just going to be a form. Next, we want to be able to edit a post. We want post ID for that as well. What we're doing is we're kind of doing something similar to adding a new post. So we do if post and then update it. And then after that, we want to grab that data from the post ID and put that into the view so that we can, have the latest information in the text boxes. We need it so after you've edited a post that it's going to tell you that you've successfully updated the post. So I'm going to say data success equals 0 by default. Then we want a data array, and I'm going to do data post because we've already created the data array. We want title just to be the post title, post description to be what they've posted, and we want to make sure that this is still active. You probably wouldn't have to add this, but I'm just going to. Then we want to update the post. We'll do post ID in the data, and then we want success to equal 1, so that way it will show it. We don't need an else because no matter what, we want to grab that information and load the view. That way they could edit it again. So data post equals this post, get post, post ID, and then let's load the view. This is pretty straightforward. The last thing we're going to do is make it so you can delete a post. And for time constraints, we're going to make it so that it automatically deletes this. What you'd want to do is you'd want it so that there's a confirm from JavaScript or a page that says, are you sure you want to delete it? So we have all of our functions here. Now we need to go ahead and create the views. Let's first make the view for a single post. I'm just going to add the standard header and footer stuff. What we want to do first is we want to see if post is set. So if it isn't set, then the ID was wrong. We'll add an error message. Otherwise, let's show the post. Let's just show the post title, and then let's show the post description. And it's really that simple. That's all we need to do. Let's go ahead and look at this. We're on our page, and let's click on Testing 9, and now we can see the post title and description. It's that simple. Now let's create the view for adding a new post. We called this new underscore post. Added the header and footer again, and what we want to do from here is we want to create a form. So we're going to say form action equals, then we want the base URL. Don't do a slash after. Then we want the post controller, and we want new post. So we're posting to the same controller. We could do PHP self, that would work as well, but let's get used to using base URL. And the method's going to be post. All we need is a title, and then we want a description, and then we just need our submit button. Now we're going to create a new post. Let's go ahead and add the post. And we can see it's getting a page not found, and I think I had a typo in the controller. Yeah, that's supposed to be post plural. So if we go back to post, we can see our new post is there. Now we want to make it so that when you click edit, we're going to actually be able to edit that post. Let's create the edit post view. So what we want to do first is add a message box in case we have successfully edited the post. So if success equals 1, let's go ahead and say this post has been updated. We don't need an else there because it's only showing up if we've edited a post. But now let's go ahead and create our form. We can just grab the same form from our new post view. All we need to do is change a couple things. So we change the action on the form. Make sure we grab the post ID number. Then we add a value to these. And let's change the submit box to say edit post instead. Now if we edit this post, let's just add an exclamation to them. Now the post has been updated. You can see now we have the exclamations here. The last thing we want to do is delete the post, and we don't need a view for this. You can see it deleted the post successfully. In this video, we went ahead and finished the post model view and controller. In the next video, we're going to add pagination because as you saw in this video, we had a lot of test posts in there and there's too many. I don't like how it looks. You're going to find out that with CodeIgniter, pagination is very simple. I hated doing it without CodeIgniter, and with CodeIgniter, it's a breeze.